Good evening! Oh, it's been a long time since I've spoken to you guys, and as you can see, I'm in a house. This is a 6.5 minute, 7-minute video blog, and if that's too long for you, just watch the first half now and then watch the second half tomorrow. Make it easy for yourself. A few weeks ago, when I was on the way up to Kirkenes on the MS Finnmarken, I met Natasha when we passed through Honningvåg, and that's where I am right now. Natasha's very shy, she doesn't like to be on camera, so she's hiding in the corner staring at me. This is awkward. But so much has happened. Last time I left you, I was in my tent with a broken propeller. The problem was that Adam and Laura had the spare prop, and they'd gone ahead to the next island across what we call the Tarnafjord. What we call it, what everyone calls it. And that meant that the prop was just so far away, we needed a really clever solution. We couldn't find a boat to get it across to the little bay where I'd finally kayaked into after the prop broke the first time. And it would have been a 6-7 hour drive for the guys to get all the way back around to roughly where I was. Luckily, a couple of days earlier, we'd met a guy called Eric who wrote an article about us for the local online newspaper in a town called Barlevåg. Eric also happens to work for a local freight airline called Widerøe, and he just came good. He said, guys, take it to your closest airport, they'll fly it across the fjord, and then Dave will have to pick it up from the nearest road. Slight problem, I've got a bit of a nagging Achilles heel problem. So the nearest road was 7 kilometers away. I didn't want to be walking that thing, but at the same time it was the only option. So I set off on a good old hike. I feel like some kind of Rocky Moses. While the plane flew the prop over, and then a guy called Vidar drove all the way down for an hour, and finally when we met up, it was such a relief to get a new prop. It was actually quite nice spending some time on land because you know, I'm seeing everything from the water, and I was really watching my feet because it wasn't a smooth path at all. I saw a wolverine, and then I looked out to the fjord and saw a whale and a couple of dolphins, and then I looked left again and there were 2 reindeer. It was just awesome.
Oh, now that I've had a good rest day.
It was 5 o'clock by the time I got back on the Schiller bike. The new prop worked, come on. And I was just shattered after 15k of walking, but I wanted to make it across the fjord, so did that, found a lovely little bay. I wanted to just have a couple of hours and then just make some more ground up, so I made a little fire, dried everything out, and then set up my bivvy. Oh, what a day. So much to tell, but now is not the time. I've just come in to a lovely little bay, and I'm just going to sleep for 3 or 4 hours, wait for the tide to turn, so it helps me along. So rather than put up tent, I'm bibbing! Happy boy! Woohoo! Got up early the next morning and headed off. It was so good to see Adam and Laura again. They saved the day along with Eric from Widerøe getting the prop thing sorted, but those guys have just been amazing the whole way through.
Bye Dave. Bye Dave. Hope you got enough food. See you later.
Then just things got really beautifully calm. I passed a salmon fishery and they were all leaping around in their little cages, and the local fishermen came over to have a chat.
Have you come to laugh at me?
And then, gosh, it was just like pedaling on glass for a while. There's been 2 things on my mind for the last few days. This area of Finnmark is full of really big crossings, big water crossings. If something goes wrong, then it's pretty hard to sort it out. So the 2 big crossings were coming up, and because it was so glassy, even though I'd done maybe 30 miles, my longest day already, I thought I'm going to take on this next 15k now.
I am heading there.
So I did, and I got in pretty late last night and found just the most epic kind of little island camp right at the end of a peninsula. There wasn't really anywhere to pitch my tent, and so I bivvied down again, but it rained all night, so I woke up pretty soggy, and then got on the water first thing and started making my way across the second half of this big crossing towards a town called Honningsvåg. kind of a spoiler because I'm here now, but the first half was incredible. It was dead flat, dead calm. I could see it all the way across. And then I was joined by some friends. A minke whale came up like 20-25 feet. It was amazing, and then it stalked me for about 2 hours, just about 100 meters behind, coming up and is that a good whale impression? And some dolphins, lots of little puffins just chilling out really close to me. I mean, it's just unbelievable. And then the fog came in, and I wasn't overly happy in that. For 4 hours I felt like I was going around in circles just trusting my compass, and then, man, it's so nice to see land again.
Ah, I have never been so relieved to see land. Oh, you little beauty.
And then I think one of the best, most uplifting moments of the whole trip was rounding the bend into Honnevåg Harbour, and there was the Richard With, the Hurtigruten ship, which was in Kirkenes on the day that I left. Richard With was the founder of Hurtigruten. So that was awesome, and they gave me a nice little welcome when I came in, which nearly knocked me off my Schiller bike.
A welcome sight, although that scared the crap out of me.
So now 234 miles in, I think it's day 13 now. I'm pretty shattered. My body is just a total wreck after all these crossings, but I've made it past, I think, definitely the most consistently challenging section of this trip, and now it's time to start heading south, southwest and then south, rather than just west. So, pretty happy boy, so much going on. Adam and Laura are just a rocking team. All the guys from Innovation Norway and Hurtigruten are helping so much in the background. It's all good. I'm very happy, 234 miles down and back on the water tomorrow after being fed some homemade chocolate spread by Natasha, who's still in the corner laughing at me. Bye-bye.